After being selected with the #1 overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft, Paolo Banchero has emerged as one of the premier young best players in the game of basketball, and he is one of the future faces of the league with players like Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards, Victor Wembanyama, the list goes on. Paolo Banchero is right there in that conversation, and Paolo Banchero has done nothing but overachieve and exceed expectations since coming into the league. He's poised for a year 3 breakout. And according to a writer for Bleacher Report, Greg Swartz, Paolo Banchero is projected to be on a Hall of Fame trajectory. And let's talk about it. Can Paolo Banchero end up in the Hall of Fame by the end of his NBA career? I sure think so. Now, Magic fans, before we actually go ahead and get into today's video, if you guys appreciate all of the work and content that I do here on Orlando Magic HQ, make sure you guys go ahead and drop me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe bell to stay tuned for more Magic content that we do here on YouTube, and make sure that you guys also go ahead and follow me, Brett James, and Orlando Magic HQ on all of our socials. The link tree will be in the description down below, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. But Magic fans, let's actually go ahead and get into today's video. Now, on October 13th, 2024, Greg Swartz of Bleacher Report released an article, which I will link to down below, saying how many future basketball Hall of Famers are playing in the NBA right now. And one of the first players that Greg Swartz had mentioned was power forward of the Orlando Magic, Paolo Banchero. Now let's go ahead and read this off together. In terms of career accolades, just 2 seasons into his career, Paolo Banchero was already the Rookie of the Year, should have been unanimous, a 1-time All-Star, and he made the All-Rookie team. Career averages 21.3 points, 6.9 rebounds, 4.6 assists. Swartz continued to add, Paolo Banchero is just 2 years into his professional career, although he certainly looks like a future Hall of Famer to this point. The #1 overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft, he followed up his Rookie of the Year campaign with an All-Star nod and a trip to the playoffs in his sophomore season. Once again projected to be the centerpiece of the Orlando Magic offense, Banchero already has a few offensive weaknesses and is extremely skilled and mobile for his 6'10", 250-pound frame. Expect another All-Star season and a step closer to reach into Hall one day. While I agree completely with Greg Swartz and his analysis of Paolo Banchero on a projected Hall of Fame trajectory of his career when it's all said and done, let me add to what he had said about his trip to the playoffs, because Paolo put together historic numbers in his first postseason appearance when he appeared in 7 games over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, Banchero in the postseason became just the 2nd youngest player in NBA history to begin his playoff career with 3 consecutive 20-plus point games. He trails only LeBron James. And to add to that, in the playoffs, Paolo Banchero became the 3rd youngest player to have multiple performances with at least 30 points, joining LeBron James and Anthony Edwards. Enough cannot be said about the job that Banchero has been able to do and to produce his first 2 seasons into the league. He's only going to continue to get better, and he is head and shoulders the centerpiece of this Magic team. He is the face of the franchise and one of the young faces in the game of basketball. Take a look as to what Paolo Banchero had to say on ESPN's First Take with Stephen A. Smith, Molly Karam Rose, and Mad Dog Russo about the Orlando Magic and how they were right there last season despite being knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. Here's what Banchero had to say on First Take. Man, we feel like we're right there with all of those teams. I remember last year we started the year off as a top 3, top 2 seed, and everyone thought it was a fluke. Everybody thought we were going to be a play-in team and drop out of the top of the East. But we finished strong and got the 5th seed and really had a chance to grab the 2 seed at the end of the season. We were right there last year, and we got better this year. I got better. All of us got better. We got some new pieces that are going to help a lot. We're going to make some noise and have a chance to win the East. And you're damn right. The Orlando Magic have every opportunity, if they stay healthy, to be competitive and to have an opportunity to win the Eastern Conference this upcoming season. Now, if I'm a betting man, I'm not betting on the Magic to win the Eastern Conference this year with the juggernaut that the Boston Celtics have. But having said that, I believe that the Magic have the talent and the roster capabilities of going out there and competing with any team on a night in and night out basis, and it's primarily because of their defense and because they have a player that can take over any game at any moment at any time, and his name is Paolo Banchero. And to kind of get back to the point of Paolo Banchero potentially being on the trajectory of a Hall of Fame career when it's all said and done, and yes, he's only into his 3rd year into the league. He's got a long way to go, just like all of these other great young star-studded players like Ja Morant, like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Here's another reason why I believe Palo is on the trajectory of potentially a Hall of Fame career. The Orlando Magic right now are in a position where they are not looked at as a top contender in the Eastern Conference, but they're looked at as a fringe contender in the Eastern Conference. And here's where Paolo Banchero can really emerge as an MVP candidate in year 3. Because the Orlando Magic are on the same kind of trajectory with the Oklahoma City are last year. We saw Mark Daigneault win Coach of the Year last year above Jamal Mosley, and we saw this Thunder team finish as the #1 seed in the Western Conference last season, as they were tied with the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves as one of the youngest teams in the game of basketball, as are the Orlando Magic. If Paolo Banchero can go into year 3, assert himself as an all-NBA type of talent, get himself into that MVP conversation, and somehow wheel the Magic into a top 2, top 3 seed and potentially a #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. If that happens, you are seeing an OKC prototype of leap from this Orlando Magic team last year, because a lot of us had looked at the OKC Thunder as a promising young team with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and some other great notable pieces around him. Nobody saw the OKC taking that leap as a #1 seed, and that's where the Magic are positioned and poised to take this year. Nobody is looking at the Orlando Magic and saying, that's a #1 seed right there. That is one of the top contenders in the Eastern Conference. But they have an opportunity to surprise everybody, and that's where Paolo Banchero can really make his mark. Because if Paolo Banchero can go from nearly a unanimous Rookie of the Year, which it should have been unanimous his rookie season, to then following that up with a sophomore campaign where he made the All-Star game, led the Magic to the playoffs, and had a historic playoff run for those first 7 games, following that up, going into year 3, where he makes the Magic a 55-plus win team. They finish as a top 2, top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. He makes an all-NBA roster, probably a first or second team. And you're telling me that the Magic can make a deep postseason run and Palo can potentially be in those MVP conversations? There is no way you can't tell me Paolo Banchero wouldn't be poised to be on that trajectory for a Hall of Fame career. And I know a lot of people have said this might be a hot take, and this is me just speculating. Paolo Banchero, to me, is the closest thing that we have to LeBron James since LeBron James came into the league. I'm talking about the size, I'm talking about the prototype, and I'm talking about the way that they are able to get downhill, manipulate defenders with their moves, and to be that savvy guy that can go in and take over a game at any given moment. We saw LeBron James come into the NBA back in 2003 as the #1 overall pick with all of the expectations of the world placed onto his shoulders, and LeBron James lived up to the expectations and honestly surpassed all expectations. The way Palo plays the game with his size, his physicality, the way that he's able to manipulate defenses and defenders, the way that he's able to set everyone up around him, the way he's able to take over games, he's the closest thing to LeBron James, and I'm not saying it in terms of his accolades and what he's accomplished already. I'm talking about if you look at the first 2 years of their league and their seasons, Paolo Banchero is damn near the closest thing that we've seen to LeBron since LeBron. Now, I really want to drive home this point with LeBron James, and I have the statistics to prove it. Now, hear me out. Not only is Banchero's physical stature and style of play nearly identical to that of LeBron's, but his numbers were glaringly similar to LeBron's rookie season back in 2003. Banchero became the first rookie since LeBron to finish his rookie season with 40 20-plus point games, the same amount that LeBron had as a rookie. When you statistically compare their rookie seasons, Banchero in 72 games averaged 20 points a game, 42.7% field goal percentage, 29.8% from behind the arc, and 73.8% from the free throw line. 6.9 rebounds, 3.7 assists per game, and 33.8 minutes per game. Now compare that to LeBron's 79 games in his rookie season, where he averaged 20.9 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists per game, and both Paolo Banchero and LeBron James went on to win the Rookie of the Year award. Banchero became just the 3rd Magic player to have achieved that honor, alongside Mike Miller and Shaquille O'Neal. And if you don't want to take my word for it, and you don't think that Paolo Banchero is on the trajectory of a Hall of Fame career, if you don't think that Paolo Banchero is a nearly identical player early on in their careers to a guy like LeBron James, take it from the word of a mouth of a future first ballot Hall of Famer in Kevin Durant. Listen to what KD had to say about Banchero. Only had 2 free throws, and he still had 28 points, 12 of 23, which is efficient. 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. He's basically a point guard out there. He's going to be a force for a long time, and this team is going to be a force if they stay together and they continue growing. That is high praise and high remarks from one of the best scorers and one of the best players in NBA history, and Kevin Durant, who has done nothing but praise Paolo Banchero. We've seen Paolo Banchero on Team USA last summer, and we know that Paolo Banchero is going to be one of the representatives of Team USA in 2028 if he stays upright and healthy. Paolo Banchero, I truly believe, is on a Hall of Fame trajectory. He's one of the closest players, if not the closest players we've ever seen to LeBron James since coming into the league. And Paolo Banchero is poised for a year 3 leap. Expect a big season from Banchero and this Orlando Magic team going into year 3. Magic fans, I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Do you believe that Paolo Banchero is poised for not only a year 3 breakout, but he is on the trajectory of a Hall of Fame career? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But Magic fans, if you guys appreciate all of the work and content that I make here on Orlando Magic HQ, make sure that you guys also go ahead and drop me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe bell to stay tuned for more Orlando Magic content that we do here on YouTube. And make sure you guys also go ahead and follow me, Brett James, and Orlando Magic HQ on all of our socials, especially on Twitter. We're both active and we're on there every single day. The link tree will be in the description down below, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. But Magic fans, thank you guys again for sticking around throughout the whole video. Brett James, aka BJ, I'm out, y'all. And like always, let's go Magic.